Okay, welcome to vlog number 10. And I know what you're thinking right away. You're thinking, hey, but there's only like 3 vlogs on your channel. What's going on? What is happening? Well, what is happening is when I wanted to do this whole get better at shooting video project, I did a whole series of, kind of test vlogs, and I did 7 of them. Just to kind of, proof of concept, just to, test some skills, test some equipment, that sort of thing. And they're mostly terrible, and they don't really have much story to them, so they're probably never going to see the light of day, but that's okay. We're starting here. We're moving forward. Anyhow, so vlog number 10. Today, what I want to talk about this sweet coffee cup I picked up on the weekend. Actually, Jen bought it for me. We were out in Panorama on the weekend, and she got me this coffee mug at the Kicking Horse Cafe in Invermere, and it's pretty sweet. I really like it, so it's going to be making many, many more appearances. But no, that's actually not what I want to talk about. What I really want to talk about is this. So what is this? Well, it's a DJI Spark. It's a drone. Yay! So why get a drone? Well, I wanted a drone for a really, 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 really long time. And part of the reason I never purchased one is I was always kind of worried, like, would I make use of it? I just didn't want to buy a toy and play with it a couple times and stick it on the shelf. I mean, that's pretty stupid. It's a waste of money. And for me, like having a drone, like I wanted something very light, very portable, something very easy to carry, something I could just stow in my knapsack and deploy really quickly, get the shot that I wanted, bring it back down, stuff it in my knapsack and take off. And I wanted this device not to be so big and bulky and cumbersome that it's going to interfere with our activity. I mean, I just want to capture a little bit of the essence of the activity. I do that now with a GoPro or my iPhone, but having a drone just gives you this totally cool perspective that you just can't capture with those other 2 devices. Until the Spark was released, there really wasn't a drone that met all of my needs. Like I really wanted something small and portable. It didn't make sense to me to like strap some kind of monster drone to my backpack, haul it up the mountain, fly it for a few minutes just to get that epic shot. With the Spark, I don't have to worry about that. I stuff it in my backpack. I barely notice the weight and the size. And when it's time to fly, it deploys quickly and easily. I just get it up there, get my shot, back in the pack, on with my ride. So I mean that was a major consideration for me, and also I did want decent video quality, and I wanted decent stable video quality, and it had to be at a price point that was affordable. And I think the Spark has met all those criteria for me. So I got my Spark on June 19th, and how's the experience been? Well, overall it's been actually pretty good. I live in the city of Calgary, which is pretty much one giant no-fly zone. So getting in some practice time has been pretty tough. I've actually been flying it in my condo. I started flying it around the condo, and I got a pretty small condo. I've been flying around the condo to kind of get the feel of it, and that was pretty good. I took it outside of the city a few times to get some shots and really just sort of practice the controls and things like that. But I really didn't get a good feel of it until this past weekend. We went out with friends out to Panorama, BC, and I was able to fly it a lot more out there. There are a lot more areas where I could fly it, big open spaces, and I really got a good feel for it during that time. So I've done a bunch of manual flying just to sort of get the feel of the drone, but I find it's quite hard to get like good usable shots flying manually. I mean, that's going to take a lot of practice. It does take a lot of skill to get those really crisp, buttery smooth, usable shots. So what I tend to use instead is I tend to use a lot of the intelligent flight modes, and my favorites are the quick shots. There's 4 built-in quick shots: rocket, droney, circle, and helix. All of them, the intention of all those shots is to keep you in the frame while they perform some kind of complex maneuver around you. Rocket is basically the drone just shoots straight up, shooting down, keeping you in target. Droney is it flies away from you, flies away from the target, moving backwards and up. Circle is pretty self-explanatory. It just circles around you, keeping you in the frame. And the other one, helix, similar to circle, but it spirals out and up. So of those 4 quick shots, I tend to use rocket the most. And that's kind of primarily just because of space restrictions. You know, if you're out hiking and biking, there tends to be a lot of trees and stuff around. And some of those other shots, they need more open space. Where with rocket, if you look up and see there's no obstructions, you can just fire that thing off and you're going to get your shot. I also tend to use the active track feature as well, and that's basically if I was out for a bike ride or something, I could set myself as the target and the drone will keep me in the frame while it follows me along my path. And for the most part, that's actually worked very well for me too. The Spark is unique as it also has these hand gestures that you can do. And I kind of tried them in the beginning, but for me, I find them maybe a bit gimmicky and it's not something I'm going to use all the time. So have I had any problems? Well, for the most part, no. I mean, any issues that I have had have been really more to do with my inexperience than a flaw with the drone. DJI has pitched this as being the entry-level drone that's quite easy to fly, and for the most part I would go along with that. I mean, it's still a pretty complicated piece of technology, and it's going to take a lot of practice to really do it well. So what are the pros? Well, at $700 Canadian, that's a pretty inexpensive drone, so a pretty inexpensive entry point. It's also very small, light, and portable, so I can easily get it in my backpack and take it biking and hiking, and it's just not cumbersome. And also the video quality is actually surprisingly good, and it's quite stable. It also deploys really easy, so I can take it out of my backpack, I can get it up in just like a couple of minutes, get my shot, get back down, back in the backpack, and barely 5 minutes has elapsed, and that's really important to me. So are there any cons? Well, it probably would be nice to have something other than just 1080p 30 frames per second. At the very least, it would be nice to have 60 frames per second so you could get some slow-mo. And having just a 16-minute flight time is kind of a bit of a downer, but you know, you can't have it both ways. You can't have small, light, and portable and a long flight time. So overall, what do I think? Well, I'm really happy with my DJI Spark. You know, I wanted something small, light, and portable. I wanted good quality video and stills, and I wanted it to come in at a decent price. You know, sure, there are some limitations, but it's a tiny drone. There are going to be some limitations. There are things you just can't pack into that small package, but that's okay. For my needs, Spark is pretty much the perfect drone, and I'm really happy with it.